Hi everyone, Kevin here from Golf Guy Reviews, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Air Jordan 5 Low golf shoes. Now these are a limited edition spiked golf shoe from Nike, and they currently retail in the UK for £170 and $220 in the US. Now the weather in the UK is not quite good enough for me to be taking these limited edition shoes out on the course, but I have taken them down the range so I can let you know what they feel like on feet and when you swing a golf ball, as well as we're going to go through some of the specific design elements of this shoe so we can take you through what all the cool features look like up close and in detail. Hit me up in the comments, let me know, what do you think of these? Did you manage to get a pair or would you wear them? Certainly I'll be interested to know the difference between our UK viewers and the US viewers. I think there might be a little bit of a difference of opinion there, so let me know down in the comments what you think of them. If you enjoyed the video today, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date in all the latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech right here on Golf Guy Reviews. Now the Air Jordan 5s are an iconic basketball sneaker, and I've got to be entirely honest, I'm not the hugest basketball fan out there, so I'm not entirely up to date with the heritage of the shoe. I did a little bit of my own research on the iconic shoe, but pretty much everything I've learned about basketball was taught to me by NBA Jam on the Mega Drive back in the 90s. Before we go into how the shoe feels on feet and what it's like as a golf shoe, let's take a closer look at some of the design elements of the Air Jordan 5 Lows. To begin with, first of all, this is the only colour option that it's available in at the moment. This is the white, black and fire red editions. And to be fair, I actually think it looks really quite good. It's certainly different. It's certainly not looking like a normal golf shoe, but they're not supposed to. They're supposed to look like these iconic basketball trainers. And so definitely they're going to stand out on the course and you're definitely going to look the part. If we take a closer look, first of all, you can see that it uses this leather upper for the majority of the shoe. And it is quite a good quality leather. You know, there are softer leathers around it out in the market, so it might have been nicer if they used a slightly softer leather. But yeah, generally this is going to hold its shape pretty well. It doesn't say on any of the websites that I've seen that this is actually a waterproof shoe. And that's most likely because of the mesh cutouts on the lateral and on the medial side. So the mesh cutouts are there because they were on the original Air Jordan 5s, and so this is trying to make as close a replica as possible. From a design element, I really quite like the use of the black midsole foam. It means that it's a lot easier to keep clean. It goes right around on the toe and on the inside of the shoe there as well. So, you know, it gives it quite a distinctive look. A lot of golf shoes would just have all white. They wouldn't necessarily mix the black and the white, so I really like that. You've also got this flash of colour with the red as well on the midsole. So you've got the kind of like this teeth shape, and that is kind of in keeping with the original Air Jordan 5s. And that was copying the kind of design influence from some of the old fighter jets where you used to kind of have the shark face on the front. So that's quite a cool little unique feature of the shoe. As you look closely as well, you can see here that you've got these plastic eyelets, just making sure, you know, that it's not going to be damaging and pulling on the leather too much and helping give a little bit of additional stability. And you can also see that you've got a lot of cool stitching on the shoe. There's a lot kind of around the toe box and all around the side. And as I pointed out earlier, you've got this mesh cutout. So the mesh is it's a plastic mesh. You can just hear that there. And on the inside of the shoe, then you've got some kind of just breathable material. So it means that you're getting a nice bit of airflow through the medial and lateral parts of the shoe. And then if you go to the rear, you've got just the Jumpman logo, which is looking pretty cool on the rear of the shoe there. And you've got the Jumpman logo on the tongue as well. Just from a design element, also the tongue is using a reflective material. So that's pretty cool, although you're not really going to get to see it much out on the golf course. And then while sticking on the tongue area as well, you've also got these lace locks here. Now, I'd never seen these before, but as I say, I'm not a huge basketball trainer aficionado, but they're a pretty cool little feature. From my research, I've seen that these are just kind of unique to the Air Jordan 5s, I think. So that's a nice touch that they're on there as well. And actually, it's a pretty cool idea that you run your laces through them and then you use the toggle to make sure that your laces stay nice and tight. And then you can either just tuck the ends of your laces in the shoe or tie them up however you feel really. So that's quite a cool little feature as well. While still looking at the lace area as well, you can probably just about make out that you've got the same mesh on the bottom of the tongue that you have on the inside and the outside of the shoe as well. So again, that helps with breathability of the shoe. Another cool design element on the sides of the shoes that you can make out here is that actually the underside of the shoe kind of comes up and wraps around on the edge a little bit, so it's going to be great for protection. But I think it looks really cool that you've got this, you know, see-through, I think they call it ice color style, which you can see on the bottom showing the Air Jordan logo. But you've got, yeah, it kind of rises up to the edge there. I just think that looks really cool on the shoe. Also, from a design standpoint, you've got the same fire red color on the inside of the shoe, so you can just kind of see it on the collar and the ankle area there, and it goes right way around on the inside. So again, you're getting a nice kind of splash of color on the shoe that all kind of matches. You've got the fire red, the white and the black. And on the inside as well, just as a design point, you've got the upside down Air Jordan logo in there too. Turning over on the sole of the shoe, you've got a few design elements to run through as well. So first of all, you can see you've got this kind of translucent area of the shoe. I think this is a TPU rubber that they've used. I can't quite find the specifics again out there on the internet, but you know, you've got the big Air Jordan logo on the bottom of the translucent part, so that's really cool. And actually, I quite like this middle plate here. You've got this black. Again, it's not plastic, or it is some kind of plastic, but it feels like it's got a bit of a rubber texture as well. But you know, it says Air Jordan on the inside of it there. No, it doesn't, it says Jordan. But that's kind of a cool little feature on the shoes there. I quite like the look of them. And again, on so many golf shoes these days, you have kind of like these ripples around the spikes. That's not really adding a huge amount of difference in terms of traction, but it's just cool from a design perspective. And of course, one other thing, these are Air Jordans, so you've got the small air pocket in the heel of the shoe. These days, with such advancements in technology in terms of the mid foam, then you know, the air pockets, it's the same on the Air Max 1G, it's the same on the full-length Silver Bullet 97s. The Golf versions just don't seem to provide that softness that maybe you used to remember the air pockets providing. I don't know whether, oh, nearly dropped the shoes. I don't know whether that's just because of the mixture of the fact that you've got to have a harder sole plate in order to give you the traction, or maybe, you know, just the use of Boost and React Foam just means that it's just not as soft these days. So now we've talked about the design elements, let's run through what they actually fit and feel like on feet. Now the first thing I've got to say is that the ankle padding and the tongue padding is quite thick and very, very soft and plush. And in fact, you might be able to just make out that it's actually this kind of felt-like material. So that's quite unique for a pair of golf shoes. I've not seen that really before. And they do feel quite comfortable around the heel and ankle area. However, one thing I would say is that although these are called the lows, compared to a regular golf shoe, they actually still sit really quite high on your foot. So this area here was definitely kind of against the middle of my ankle, whereas normally I'd hope that it's below my ankle. Same with the heel, it sits up really quite high. These areas were kind of pushing into my Achilles quite a lot. And again, on the tongue area, that sits really high on my foot. Now, that's not going to be a problem if you're used to wearing high top shoes or trainers. For me personally, I don't really wear them. The biggest I go is the Air Max 90s. So for these, for me, will take a bit of getting used to and might actually cause a little bit of blistering just because I'm not used to wearing shoes that are so high, even though they're a low. I just wanted to try and show you the insides of the shoe. So if you have a look in here, you can see there's kind of like a little bit of a wrap going on, so it's connected to the tongue and then to the sides of the shoe. You can probably just make that out. Although definitely, you know, your foot isn't in any kind of booty-like construction in there. Your foot is very much connected to the trainers. There's a little bit of padding and a little bit of felt material on the inside, so you know it's not just straight up against leather. So they do feel quite nice and plush to wear. Interestingly, I was wearing them quite a bit around the house for a few days, and your feet do seem to get quite hot in these shoes, even though you've got an incredible amount of breathability through the mesh on the side and on the tongue. My toes were getting really quite hot and baked on the inside of these shoes. So again, if you're thinking of only wearing these out on the golf course in the summer, then maybe that's something just to be aware of. There's a lot of material going on with these shoes. There's a lot of plastic, quite thick, dense leather. These aren't going to be the most breathable golf shoes in the world. While on the subject of comfort, the inner sole is glued in, so I can't pull it out to show you, but it says on the tech spec that it's an 8mm thick fit bed. And to be honest, these aren't the most comfortable shoes in the world to wear, A, because of that breathability, but also the softness underfoot. For what is quite a thick looking trainer on the midsole foam, you've got, I'm assuming this is just Phylon midsole from Nike, and you know, that's an all right midsole. They used it on tons of shoes, golf shoes, running shoes, everything, and it's absolutely perfectly adequate, although it's not the softest foam out there. and the inner sole isn't particularly thick, so I was actually quite surprised. I was expecting these to be a lot softer underfoot. Now, it's not a problem at all, and I think I'd be happy wearing these over 18 holes, although that remains to be seen because I haven't had the chance to get out on the course yet. But they certainly felt okay out on the driving range and wearing them around the house all day, but they're not the softest underfoot. So if you're expecting something like a Boost or a React, a level of comfort underfoot, you're not going to get that. On the plus side, that does kind of mean that you're getting some additional stability to the shoe, and some people do prefer a firmer feeling golf shoe when they're out playing, so that's just something to bear in mind with these shoes. In terms of the fit then, I got these in a UK 9. I am a UK 9 and they fit true to size, so I was quite happy with that. Certainly there was a good amount of room in the toe box. My toes don't feel cramped up at all, and they're not touching the ends, so that's absolutely fine. I don't think there's going to be much give in these shoes. It's quite a robust leather, and you've also got quite a thick amount of rubber along the toe box there, kind of keeping everything together. So yeah, I don't think these are going to give, but they fit true to size. What I would say in regards to the fit, walking around and wearing these out to the driving range, is that I did get a little bit of heel slip in the back. Now, for me personally, that's a little bit of an issue because I know that could possibly create some blisters for me. As I say, I haven't had the chance to wear these out on the course yet, but I was a little bit surprised that these do have a little bit of movement for my feet out in the heel. Now, these have got an internal heel counter that's trying to lock your foot in, but I think maybe it's the combination of the fact that, you know, there's just a lot of room around that ankle area and in the forefoot in these shoes, so my foot was just slipping around in the ankle area a bit there, so I was a little bit surprised at that. Out on the course hitting balls, and I did find that the shoes didn't necessarily provide a great deal of stability for me in the midfoot area, although they are quite stable in the ankle area just because of the sheer volume of the material that you've got. And you know, basketball shoes are designed to be stable in this ankle area, so you know, you would expect that of the shoes. And in terms of stability as well, then actually the full length sole there with this quite rigid material means that you're getting a decent amount of stability from the bottom there. So in terms of these, you know, they're not going to be the most stable shoes, and you know, they're not going to hug and fit your foot perfectly. These are certainly more as a casual golf shoe. Personally, I wouldn't be wearing these out in competitions. I like something that's going to fit me a bit better in the heel and ankle area. I like something that's going to feel a little bit more lightweight as well, not quite as bulky, and certainly I'm going to want something a little bit more breathable. But in terms of the traction that these are giving you, then you know, you've got the 7 spikes on the bottom here, and you know, they're pretty much the same as a lot of golf shoes out there, so you're going to get a fair amount of traction. I didn't have any problems over the range, I didn't slip in them or anything like that, so they're definitely going to work out on the course. So in summary, I really like the look of the 5 lows. I think they are definitely going to stand out on the course, and they are going to appeal to a lot of people. Certainly all you basketball sneaker aficionados, you are going to absolutely love these. If you like the Air Jordan 5 lows, then these are a very good replica in a golf shoe form. So I definitely think these are going to sell out, and these are going to be very popular right around the world, really, not just in the States. I really like some of the unique design aspects. I think the shoe looks great in regards to the midsole, and as well as, you know, the unique layers to the 5 lows. So, you know, you've got the clip on the front, you've got the medial and lateral vents there, which look really cool. And just generally, you know, with the reds showing around the collar, the Jumpman logo, these are a cool looking trainer. In terms of using these specifically for a golf shoe, then yes, absolutely, you can use them for a golf shoe. They are going to do a job, and they're going to do a perfectly fine job for most people out there. For me personally, I find them a little bit too chunky and bulky. Definitely even just when I wear them with a normal pair of golf trousers, then they stand out, that's for sure, but they do look quite bulky and chunky. I prefer something a little bit more on the sporty looking side, and that's weird because these are a basketball trainer, but you know, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I prefer something a little bit more traditional, I suppose, while still being sporty. I really like the translucent bottom on the shoe. I think that looks really cool, although it's not going to add anything in regards to the performance out on the course, but that does look really cool. And so generally, yeah, I think that's a really awesome looking shoe. I like the design. It's definitely got me interested in checking out other Air Max golf shoes. I just can't wait for this summer so I can get these out with a pair of shorts and give them a proper test out on the course. Hit me up in the comments, let me know, what do you think of these? Did you manage to get a pair, or would you wear them? Certainly I'll be interested to know the difference between our UK viewers and the US viewers. I think there might be a little bit of a difference of opinion there. So let me know down in the comments what you think of them. If you enjoyed the video today, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date in all the latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech right here on Golf Guy Reviews.